right. Hey, folks, we're going to do some artwork this morning, but I need to press a couple buttons first before I can. And I need to check my volume control. So if you're familiar with what's going on already, go ahead and skip ahead like a minute, and we'll get into it. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. We're going to drop that sound down there. Hopefully it doesn't get in the way. And so for those that are sticking around here while I press a bunch of buttons, I will say good morning. Hello, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, I publish them online, and we're making an adventure for the Eberron campaign setting in Dungeons & Dragons using the 5th edition 24 rules. Yeah, I've been an Eberron enthusiast since 2004. I've been a freelance illustrator since 1999. I've been playing D&D since 1987, and I've been creating content on the DMsGuild since 2018, but I have yet to create an adventure, or rather publish an adventure, and I haven't published anything for Eberron, so I'm making an Eberron adventure to hit two birds with one stone. If you are still here with me, God bless you, and thanks a lot. I hope you enjoy the ride. If you do, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. If you want to see some of my other work, you can scroll down here, and there is a ton of content that I've created on DMsGuild already that's full of my art and my ideas. They all have free previews. So be welcome to grab the sample PDFs at no cost if you want. And if you want to further support me in the future, you could buy some of those books. Join me on Patreon. Support me here on YouTube, and we'll get out of the way of each other, and let's start getting to work. So we're making a Shambling Mound today. For those that aren't familiar, again, this is the 16 by 9 PDF format that we've created that fits on screen incredibly well. It fits horizontally in any kind of 16 by 9 device. My monitor, this phone, my tablet that I can put behind my DM screen. It's a 12-point font, so it's really large and easy to read. And each column is also a 12-point font. It's 16 by 9, so you can look at each column vertically one at a time. And it's a PDF, so you have, navigate by touch. And when it's completed, these buttons here at the bottom, these navigation buttons, will take you to different dungeons and areas of the adventure to be able to basically quick yourself back to the locations that you need to be. And so we're making monsters. Well, I do artwork. I've been in the fantasy illustration freelance scene for about 20 years, though I'm certainly not a big hitter, but I am around. So be welcome to check out some of my work online, and you can follow my links down below to see all my different contact stuff. But we're making the Shambling Mound here, and I feel like the Shambling Mound, it says a little bit too wide. This is going to fit on a square token that'll occupy a 2x2 space at the 5-foot scale. We provide tokens for all the monsters and NPCs and stuff like that are in the adventure, which I'm sure is expectation. If I'm going to come up with an idea, I should be able to help you visualize it, right? That's kind of the deal. But that's what we're doing here. We're making all the assets for the adventure before we actually have it published and put out to you guys. So, hey, I think I like that. Let's stick around back here. We have this tentacle in the background that I need to clean up. So we're going to work on that a little bit. We got about an hour, and typically have about an hour and 20 minutes that we put into work in the mornings here. I do artwork like this Monday through Friday weekdays, and then on Mondays and Thursday nights I do game design for either adventures or supplements or whatever it is that we're building to put artwork into. So we make a game, we come up with an idea, we test it to see if it works. We then clean up the text to explain what it is that we're doing, edits as needed, and then page layout, and then all the gaps in the text on the pages is where the artwork goes. So we build the thing, we play test the thing, we write the thing, editing when needed, and then layouts for the thing, and then artwork for the thing, and then we publish the thing. And so it's an involved process. There's a lot going on with it. A lot of people probably don't know all the different ideas and stuff that goes into making a supplement for a role-playing game, much less an adventure. So I wanted to stream all the production that I had for this. We're on episode 590 something. 593. I think it's actually 594. Well, we're almost the 600 episodes of creating this adventure, and 5 days a week. It's been going on for. We've been building assets online like this in the morning for roughly 2 years, including all the maps. You see if you go to the very earlier streams, you'll see me making maps, and then we play tested. They didn't work, so I had to change the maps. So we were changing the maps on stream here, just basically going through the production cycle of how do you make the assets and the visuals for an adventure. And we've gone through all of that. And since then, like I said, initially when we were doing the art for this, we were actually building the maps online here, and then we would play test them. And if they weren't circular enough, or they had choke points, or I didn't like how they bottlenecked with different creatures here and there, so I had to swap it around until we got to a form that we liked, and it was fun going through all that process with you guys here online. That was a blast. I don't think I'm going to do another adventure anytime soon, like another published adventure like this, just because the amount of assets that requires really is massive. I'll do another one or two or five eventually. And I'm really thinking about, since I have this 16 by 9 format that we're now using and that it works as PDFs, that it actually works. I'm thinking about 1-page dungeons, which is a misnomer. It's actually a 2-page dungeon, spanning 2 8.5 by 11 pages, goes 22.5 by 8. So we'll do... that breaks down to 11 by 7. It still fits in that 16 by 9 format. Okay, I like the curve of this. I have to whittle away the edges to clean it up a little bit until it's a good, proper shape. But I don't mind little nibs here and there poking off of it, because that's how we can create shoots and branches, little sprouts. But I do want to finish off this curve here, and I like this extension here, so I want to keep that. Shambling mounds are like animal sentient plants that hunt people. In the case of the shambling mound, it'll swallow people whole and digest it inside the mass of its body. It's got all these tentacles to whip out and fish people into its maw, and it has an electrical charge to it. So when it hits you, it deals damage, squeezy damage, lightning damage, and it shocks your nervous system, so you can't properly retaliate against it when it grabs you. So you can't really get away until it's stuffed you into its gullet already. Fun critter, good fighter. It's a good boss fight for like around level 4 and 5. If you have a team of like basically four to 5 players, like 4th, 5th level is a solo boss fight. By 7th, 8th level, a shambling mound makes a good brute. Like a muscle tank. But because as your characters gain levels, they become more powerful. They're able to take on larger foes, and things that were initially a massive challenge to your characters they fall away, because your characters get tougher but the monsters don't. Or each individual monster doesn't, right? Unless it's like a boss, unless it's an NPC or some sort of important character, they generally don't evolve along with the characters to antagonize them. You switch up the type of creatures that you fight as you gain levels, just so you're not fighting a goblin for a year. You have even if you have 15 different types of goblins, they're still goblins. It's nice to have some bugbears and ogres and shit like that, or giants slipped in there to break up your goblin love fest. So you want to have different types of creatures that can do different things that keep your characters, that keep the players engaged, and that the tactics have to change so that they're able to use. See, the thing about combat is it's a puzzle. Combat is a resource depletion over short periods of time, where you have lots of decisions that you can make about how to remove threats or preserve your hit points before you get killed. So that's essentially what combat is. It's a type of punishing puzzle that in the first edition of D&D, the old BX Beckme OSR scene of if you can't figure out, like in the older editions, healing was so slow that combat was a penalty. Like if you are taking a night of rest, you'll get 1 hit point back. If you do nothing but rest, you'll get 3 hit points back. And until the end of 7 days, at which point I think it doubles, or I forget how it goes, but after a certain amount of time of just laying in bed resting, your healing rate speeds up. But in 3rd edition plus, it was you get all your hit points back. When you finish a rest, whenever you finish a rest, you get all of your hit points back. You reset back to full strength, and that makes it a challenge for the DM to create dungeons with ongoing consequences. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna drop this down here like that. I like that curve there. I just want to flesh that out a smidge. There we go. Hey, this is looking pretty good. Let's like I said, like make little branches and thorns and extensions off of these things. So it doesn't have to be overwhelming. It just has to be present. There we go. Let's go back into here and then add that in. It's a rainy day here in Seattle. In the summertime, the Pacific Northwest is actually all sunshine and moderate temperature. It's pretty freaking nice here if you enjoy the sunlight during the summertime. As soon as you get to October, it's rain. And that rain will stick around until January, at which point it starts to typically turn into snow for a little bit. January through February is our legit snow season. And then it tapers off in March and April, and it stays moderate and overcast until about, I'd say July, and then it starts to turn up. And by August, it's full heat. So the Pacific Northwest is really gorgeous. But yeah, there's temperature variance will vary. So keep your eye out for that if you ever want to visit up here. We're going to add in some highlights here. And we're just, we're adding these in. So here's our mound in general, the Shambling Mound. And once we finish this, next door we have the Spectre. We've already done the Spectral Knight. It's not the most action-y pose, but I still like it, so I'm going to keep it. Who knows, maybe I'll change it. We do the base. We do the base color. You know, we just do a silhouette, and then we fill in the silhouette with our mid-tone or lower tone. And then we are highlighting now with a lighter bright tone. There, like that. So we'll finish this today, and I'm going to use my eraser to carve out more veins into those vines. There we go. Not bad. I want to. We trimmed up this a little bit. I think I need to clean it up a little bit more. Howdy doody, people. Thanks for swinging by. Being a painter is it's an intrinsically lonely job. It's a one-person task, right? That is basically taking the imagination and putting it on paper as a visual. that is a solo activity by nature, but it also takes ridiculous amounts of hours to complete. So if I disconnect myself from society to satisfy this passion of producing artwork, if I let that reign for too long inside me, I become a hermit and I don't interact with anybody. But these projects can take a year. Well, this one's taken like 3 years, including playtesting and ideation and all that stuff. It's taken a long time to build this thing. That's a long stretch of loneliness. And to combat that, hold on. Yeah, to combat that, I started streaming. I think I need to put like a little. See how this is. Here, let me grab my box tool. There. This is sitting pretty nicely inside of a square, see? But it has, like, this area is far more empty than this area, so it's got this visual lean to it that I'm not necessarily in love with. So I think I need to have another tentacle back here. So we're going to slap down another tentacle. And I think I want to change its mouth a little bit. It looks too much like, it feels too much like a dog sort of energy to it. And I want to unfriendly it. It's too cozy right now. I want to make it less cozy, I guess is the right way of putting that. Yeah, we'll do like this. I think we can get away with that. We'll fill this in. We'll do the exact same thing that we did over here. And then we'll put some little color spots. We're going to fix its mouth, and we'll put in some color spots. One of our friends to the channel, Fox, had recommended having some fungus or little plants around it that have a little bit more of a pop of color. This is high black-green energy, and putting a little bit of warmth into it, some yellow or red fungus or little mushrooms would be a good way to have some color pops through the piece, and I cannot disagree with that. The Mabar Manifest zone where this thing is dwelling is largely just black and green color palette, so it's got this drab, like off drabness to it. So a little pop of color here and there is probably not a bad idea. Hey, that's my timer. Make sure. That's a 20-minute timer that I keep. I typically have about an hour and 20 minutes in the morning before I go into my day job. And then tonight I'll be back at 6:30 p.m. We're going to continue working. We're going to work on the Spelljammer campaign that I want to run on my Discord channel. It's in the orbit of Eberron, and there's asteroid colonies among the orbits of the moons that are inhabited by, in this case, our colony has warforged dwarves and gnomes. And the dwarves and gnomes build mecha to fight giant monsters that attack the asteroid communities from when the moons come by in orbit. They have a chance of dispatching monsters that will attack these communities that have to be driven away. So we have a flying fortress that's basically an aircraft carrier that shuttles mecha around from community to community to defend them from kaiju attack. And also acts as a storage or as a trade caravan to move materials from one community to another. So on its patrol route to protect the community from massive space monsters, it also picks up supplies and moves them around to the different communities in the colonies. So we built out 3 of the 6 colonies. I'm going to probably build out another one tonight. We're also going to start selecting an array of different type of kaiju monsters that can attack the communities. We'll also I'm going to, I think, merge these down like that. Double check my placement. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, I think. That's better balance. I like that. All right, so I can drop in this mid-tone here. So let's go fetch that color. Actually, this is probably the most pure block of it right there. We'll just scratch in some lines and we'll smudge them out to make the same viney effect. But yeah, there's like 30 different like mecha augmentations that we currently have. So I was going to start the team with a small handful of them to basically short rest their mecha, to change their spells or whatever that the mecha have. Different effects and powers and system boosts and stuff act like invocations or spell-like abilities that the mecha pilot can use as either an action or a bonus action while piloting. And there's there's strike powers that when you hit with a weapon attack, you can expend your mana battery to ramp the damage that you can do. And so it's basically a way of using a spell point system that I like, but to convert the narrative into being a, hold on real quick, that's a good color right there. By giving the mecha a power source, like a mana battery that uses the mecha to go, we can overclock the production of energy to generate free mana that could then be channeled through the mecha to create spell-like effects or boosting or like combat maneuvers and stuff, like for a battle master or a tactician type character. We can build those into the chassis of the mecha that we build, so it has a sort of Lancer feel to it. So like the tech that you install into your mecha determines like your quote-unquote class abilities and spells that you can cast and stuff like that. In Lancer, it's framed as you can download these blueprints and augment your mecha to do these things now. That's like your spell selection. And so when you select your loadout, that's what you go into your next mecha adventure, right? So it has like an XCOM 2 style sort of feel to it, which is what we want. And we're using the Bastion system, the modified Bastion system that I created to upgrade the fortress. Our flying dwarven fortress that is also like the aircraft carrier for the mecha bay. Well, hey, what's up, D? It's good to see you, my guy. So yeah, I'm going to continue with that. We're going to build out our list of monsters and then create the kaiju for that list. We're going to select our loadout of initial modifications that will be available to the mecha. When they're in the workshop. So there's a workshop, there's a hangar, there's a storehouse, barracks, and siege weapon batteries. Oh, and the helm. Those are like the seven different facilities that are inside the Dwarven Citadel when we frame it as a bastion. And so we'll start off with those initial facilities, and then as the characters progress the campaign, they can invest into improving their Dwarven Citadel, which in turn allows them to upgrade and augment their mecha, which they can go out and they can fight larger threats as bigger and badder things start coming at the colonies as the campaign proceeds. So that's the idea. So we've been building out that scenario and the locations and the options and stuff like that. We've been doing that all on stream, and that's what we'll be doing this evening as well. And then eventually, I think in February, we'll actually run it as a campaign on my Discord channel. So anyone that's interested in that, be welcome to join. It is free for folks to jump in. It's linked down below. Be welcome to do so. And we'll be working on that tonight in about 11 some odd hours. We'll be back on working on that after my day job. It feels pretty good. There's a little bit of an absent. There's this blind spot, this blank spot over here that I want to resolve next. Just this negative space is 2. It's 2. Actually, yeah, I do want that broken. So yeah, we'll finish the mound today, and then maybe we'll get started on the shade. We'll see how much time I have left. Spectre. The Spectre is the next one to work on. But it's wraiths. We worked on the wraith last week, and wraiths create specters. When a wraith kills somebody, they become a specter, which is like a lesser wraith. So it's going to be similar in appearance, but different. There's some meaningful. It's going to have a lot more radiance coming from it. So I think that's going to be really fun. The same smoky, shadowy sort of idea, but instead of it plunging further into darkness, there's light that comes streaming out of them. So that'll be fun to illustrate. And that's right next door here, and I'll finish up this page. I'm almost done with the illustration I've been working on off camera in the evenings. It's got a lot going on, so I thought it would be annoying to work on it on stream, but I'll show it to you guys. But for now, I'm just making sure this is all properly balanced here. Why are you? Oh yeah, that makes sense. Why are you so old? Here, no. Here's what we want. So let's grab this initially. Hey, what's going on? I started a piece a couple days ago. I've probably been done with it, like I do in the GIMP, but I'm giving Affinity a shot, and it seems to be pretty freaking sick. Cool. I know nothing about it. So I have a steep learning curve to deal with. Yeah, no kidding, right? Well, good luck. If it's a good tool and it inspires you, obviously you'll muscle your way through and earn mastery over it in time. I've been a Photoshop junkie for like decades. I started with GIMP as well. Actually, I started with Corel Paint, but I don't like the user interfaces that Corel had come up with at the time. And oops, hold on. I gotta take that all back. Damn it. Layer issues here, Kearney. I'm on the wrong layer. There we go. Let's flush it out like that, and then we'll smudge it in. This is similar to how I do wood grain. So it makes sense that I would use a similar process for these tentacles. Go like this. This is further back, so I don't think I want to block it in as light as the other ones here. I'll grab a little bit of highlight here, just to kiss along the top here. But I don't think I want to be as, like, just let it trail off a little bit there. There we go. Ah, that feels really good. The next thing I want to do is I want to fix his muzzle here a little bit. It just feels too friendly, so I'm not liking it. Let's yeah, let's park it here, and let's just start adding in here. I want to grab this. I want to see if I can, like, just expand this a bit. What's up? Yep, Viney Tentacles. Gotta love the Shambling Mound. They are a fanfic favorite. Fan pick. Anyway, whatever. I wanted to make it like a larger underbite. Ooh, that looks kind of cool. I like that sinisterness there. Let's just stay on this point here and see where this takes us. Better. Just keep pushing this in. They're like that. Smudge this up like that. Hey, what's up? Affinity is oh, really? Yeah, my brain does not work around vector at all. I am 100% a raster man. To my benefit or detriment, whatever. But point clicking as an art, it's I guess it's kind of like stippling when you think about it. So it might be something I could potentially wrap my head around. Now that I'm thinking about it, I want to keep that point there to help block off the tentacle in the background here. So I'm going to actually color over this a little bit. Push that back. Add a little bit more depth. Yeah, that's good. Like that. I like how this is turning out. I think it's looking pretty good. Just keep smudging this stuff in. It just eventually blends itself in together to make sense. Fungus foam around its mouth, salivating for its next victim. A deer juts its head up quickly, sniffing the wind. It hears a twig snapping. It's wondering if it's being hunted by a wolf or a coyote, but in reality, the snapping branch was a shambling mound slowly easing its way through the forest towards the deer to grab itself a tasty snack of protein. Maybe the deer will realize before too late what is beseeching. Hey, I like that. It looks pretty fun. Let's grab this darker bit here and break up this area in here a little so we can match the texture. There we go. Like that. That feels pretty good. Lighten that up a little bit. Yeah, I think that feels better. The suggestion was to have some shocks of color and stuff along the base. First off, I'm going to start off with some of the fungus, some of the ground fungus. And oh, okay, right on. Well, yeah, sure. Yeah, you should probably learn. I mean, I don't know all the tools in Photoshop. I don't know if anyone knows all of the tools in Photoshop. But yeah, obviously it's mastering the tools. That's the trick. Let's take this and whittle that down a little bit. I'm glad it's resonating with you. That's awesome. Yeah, let's do it like this. We'll first start off with this fungus along the ground, and then we'll put some little spots of yellow and red, I think, little mushroom caps like these. I think we can afford to drop in some more of those. Sa. Can we get an Audrey 2 times? I will. Doesn't Audrey just have like a normal human tongue? Oh, that's so fun. Oh, neat. It's like a little alien mouth, but it's like a tulip. That's hilarious. Maybe. We'll see if it makes sense. I'm not opposed to the idea. It would be. I think it'd be weird. I think it would take. I'd have to reconstruct the mouse. Like I'd have to blunt its face like this to create a large enough underbite to then be able to warrant having something rising out of it to feel natural. I don't know, maybe that works. Maybe I can force the perspective. I'll give it a go. Let me play with a little bit of moss on the ground here just to scratch this itch. But I will give that a legit go. We'll see how it turns out. Maybe you're absolutely on point there. But yeah, I am absolutely open to that suggestion. I like the suggestions. People kick out ideas about colors and stuff, and sometimes it completely catches me. It's like, yeah, that's a great idea. Sometimes not so much, and then sometimes we have to experiment with it. I'm just gonna drop in some little splotches of color here just to keep things breaking up a little bit. I like that. That feels really good. Let's smudge that out a little bit here just to ring it. There we go. And what's up? Basically, yeah. We'll see. It's a worthwhile endeavor. So I'm happy with how this is sitting. Other than a couple little pops of color here and there, I'm pretty happy with this, and I'm almost ready to move on to the Spectre. And we have a good solid 40 minutes left. So yeah, why not? Let's fuck around. That. There's my timer. Yeah, was that 20 minutes already? Holy shit, that 20-minute block just flew by. What do you if you aren't an artist yourself, or an athlete, or a gambler, there's a number of different ways to fall into this slip state of like the zone. Athletics is really good about getting into the zone. Painting's incredibly good about getting into the zone, like painting, music, dance. Dance is kind of like a bridge between sports and art. But you'll get into the zone and like time stops. Like you don't age when you're in the zone. The world continues around you, but it's like you're in astral space. It's like time, like you can catalog time's movement, but it doesn't affect you. You're not hungry. You're generally not thirsty. The flow of thoughts kind of distorts away from where the normal timeline is at, and you can lose hours. Hours can just slip by of you just moving through this flow state and just producing something, and it's an amazing state of being. which I allow myself to dive into and through, like, say, on Saturday when I don't have a job I have to tend to. But when I do artwork like this in the morning, I have to keep that 20-minute timer going to make sure that I keep track of the real world that I have to rejoin. So it often doesn't let me find that slip into that zone. But today, apparently it fell in really quickly. So I'm really happy about that. What a good day for Phil. I actually have to go downtown. Once a month, I go to the Seattle main office downtown, and I need to put in a full day of work. We do meetings and stuff like that, which generally means I have to hop on the bus around 6:30, which is generally around the time that I like to start my stream in the morning. So I won't be here on Wednesday. I had an epiphany last night while I was thinking about this. Actually, is if I can take a couple hours on my Saturday and Sunday each week, I could put out like a scripted, prepared video once a month, and I could publish that on the day that I go downtown, so that even though I'm not streaming on Wednesday like I normally would, I'd be able to publish a piece of content for people to enjoy. So I'm thinking about that. And it hasn't quite come together yet, but there are a number of little points, like little conversation pieces that I wouldn't mind pulling into a video as a whole. And a once a month pace certainly isn't anything that would force me to run out of content anytime soon. Like, I like streaming like this, even though YouTube doesn't reward live streaming like at all in comparison. It's to prepared videos. This is something I can literally do forever. So I like having the majority of my stream be built around the majority of my channel being built around live streaming art, which again I can do this literally forever, because there's always going to be another book, there's always going to be another commission, there's always going to be another idea that I want to express, and the muse is always going to have something new queued up for me to do. So being able to live stream artwork like this is a channel that will never end. Like, I'll never run out of content. I never have to do the same thing again. I don't have to redo the top 10 feats when the edition changes. It's a really healthy perpetual space that I can operate inside of, but it's not as punchy as prepared, prep videos about a snarky content, about a snarky concept or something. So it's much slower to grow. I don't know if I like this or not. Also, I have to work around 40 minutes. Oh, right on. I bring your stylus with me and draw on your phone in extra time. Nice. God, yes. Being in the flow state like that, being in the zone, it just feels so good. When you come out of it, you really feel like you've accomplished something, like you've touched something bigger than yourself. I actually kind of like this leaning over here like this. I don't know if it necessarily feels so much like a tongue at this point. But I like the position of it. The position works. Yeah, I do like it. I however, want to shift this over. Like that. There. Blah, blah, blah. What's up? Yeah, and it breaks up the foreground a little bit. Like this large space here is kind of inert. So this is actually a really good suggestion, Def. I really appreciate that. Yeah, this is gonna work out. flatten that out a little bit. And, okay, that looks pretty good. Now let's do what we always do. Let's grab this. Next layer. I have a plan. So we're going to go like this. There. Then we're going to grab a lighter green. Fade this in here. And we'll put a shock of yellow in here. I'm just guessing on the... I don't see color, so I'm just guessing. Yeah, exactly. Put a little shock of color there to get them closer to the maw. And I figure yellow is a good one. Maybe, I don't know, maybe red would have been better, but this is what my gut told me to do, so I did it. Take this and we'll push this down a little bit here. I think green into yellow is a little more natural than... I like the pop of red. So maybe what I can do is put some red shrooms up in here. Ooh, that's a neat idea. Let's put a sharp red next to the yellow here at the top. Actually, I think purple might feel a little bit better. There. How's that feeling? My gut tells me this is good. Obviously, I need to break it up a little bit. I actually want to fade it down a little. Like that. And then I can go a little bit more of a reddish highlight. We'll see. We'll see. So far, so good. So what, right? This is just, again, I'm just guessing. I'm just using the RGB slider over here to kind of guide me around to like what feels like a good, what would feel good here. What's up? How to keep that tongue visible with the contrast without changing the color palette too much. I think it's dark enough that it stands out. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe it's too crowded. Maybe what I actually need to do. Hold on. There we go. Some slimy. Oh, I see. Oh, some slickness. Oh, yeah, not a bad idea. I like this change though. I like flipping this around like that. I think that feels good. Let me drop this in here a little. We'll spot in some color there to blend it in. I don't want all of them to be. I don't want all of them to have this. There we go. That feels pretty good, I think. Like that. That's the color it's supposed to be. Clean that shit up a little bit. There we go. And all right, let's go back to our tentacle. Let's see what's now we'll just use that. Down here like that. So I agree, you probably don't want them all that color. Yeah. Just like a little spot here and there. I think that feels pretty good. I can do a couple more of these purplies down in here. I don't want to have too broad of a palette. I think green, purple, and yellow. The purple and yellow being in that focused area top there. I think that's probably as much as I need to do. But I think to get this, this tongue vine out, I think I need to drop in some more of this green fungus behind to help differentiate the silhouette. So let's do that next. Here. There. That way we can change the contrast without having to mess around with the color palette too much. I'm going to take your suggestion, Def, and make a video about the colorblind process that I go through with this stuff. I think that'd be a fun little video to post. Like I was saying, my idea is that since I know I have to go, since I go downtown in the mornings once a month, that means I break my schedule. Having a prepared video to post on that day makes it a neat low effort, like not overwhelming design idea for me to lean into, and so doing the colorblind thing, that'd be a good video. Tiers of play and the scaffold of a 20 level campaign, I think that'd be a fun one. Converting different pillars of adventure into different action economies, I think, is a fun topic of conversation. Scale and scope in general is a good conversation. So I think I have some meaningful stuff that I can actually organize into like an actual polished video, quote unquote polished. Let's say prepared video instead of just live streaming. There we go. I think that's starting to look a little bit better. So you don't even know it exists. Yeah, right on, man. Right on. Well, it's a great idea, and that's one of the things that I wanted to do about it. I know there's I know there's people out there like me that are colorblind that want to be visual artists, but maybe haven't found all the solutions that I had found. I got lucky. That I got built into a life and a body that has to solve problems differently than other people, because my vision tools work differently from other people. So I have to create different types of solutions, which means that I'm looking at things differently than a lot of people. Pardon the pun. And I think that allows me an opportunity to find unorthodox solutions, or just to look at problems from a different angle, you know. Like I do, like most of my books are taking the idea of the 5e game engine and building it and using it in different ways, like in ways that WotC hadn't created or intended or imagined yet. So like that's a lot of where my game design comes from, taking a game engine that I love, 5e, and then kit bashing it to do other things, you know. Because I'm always like, what tools do I have available to me, and what results can I produce from what those tools can produce, you know? Like, what are those tools designed to do, and how can I bend them? Kind of like, here's a stupid analogy. Eddie Van Halen used a power drill on the strings of his guitar to make the iconic sounds in the song Pound Cake, which is super cool, by the way. That's... Van Halen, man, they were cool while they lasted. I'm gonna make these little pods, like these little nodes here. I found this one over here, like that. I want to kind of build that out. That's a fun little change in texture from the vininess, like the rolling growth of the vines, to then be in these little pocks. I think that's fun. Like that. Yeah, like that. I'm running out of interesting things to do on this thing, I think, pretty quickly. Right on, man. I'm glad you're digging it. I guess the other thing that's really nice about streaming like this is immediate feedback from people that are invested in what you do. And invested meaning that they find it interesting. Stick around and blah de blah. It's the blah de blah that makes it fun, you know? Do like that. Yeah, I think that's shaping up pretty good. Like that. Thank you, Timely Timer. What am I looking at? 20 minutes left? It's 7:38, so I've got about 20 minutes left. I think I want to drop just a little bit of not a lot. Just a little. There. Wish people would come in and tell me what to draw. I have all the ideas in the world until I sit at my PC. Yeah, no kidding, right? That's what I like about being my own art director, like doing the artwork for my own books. I create a list of like all the things that I want to have in the book, and like where can I put those. So I create a roster for myself. The being a book instead of just standalone images leans me into creating a theme of related content to each other that helps create its own little language inside of the project. You know. Like all the pieces have to communicate with each other properly to feel connected to each other. And an adventure like this, it's surprisingly is one of the best vehicles that I have found to create that communication across different pieces, like to make a cohesive set. I didn't expect that, but it's interesting to have discovered it. So adventure design is compelling in that sense, in that it has that interconnection. Put that in there. We'll hit that highlight here like that. There we go. I don't know, man. I don't know if that's that doesn't feel quite good. No, I don't think that's adding anything to it. Let's whoa. No. Merge these down. There we go. Okay, back on task. Let's drop that into a separate layer. I feel like, yeah, I'm arguing with this thing a little bit. That feels better. What's up? All right, my guy. Get out of here, my guy. I appreciate you hanging out with me, Def. Very much so. I'm just about finished up with this piece. I'm just arguing with this little tongue tentacle a little bit. But otherwise, that probably drop in a little bit of burst of color down here in the base, and then we'll move on to the Spectre. So we'll be starting on a new piece tomorrow, and we'll see what it takes us to. So, Def, you have a good night, my man. I'll see you on the other side. There, I'm still not. I like the idea of it. And it feels like something should be there. So maybe instead of smaller, I need bigger. Set a masking layer for now. Ooh. Kind of like that. Actually, yeah, I actually like that a lot. Okay, cool. I'm pretty happy with this. Let's just add in a couple little tigs of color down here. Yeah, we'll just do just some little purple splotches, just to add some. Let's do like. Yeah, little bits like that. There we go. Just going to blend this in a little bit. And then we'll move on to the next piece. There we go. And then we'll make little stems to help lock down the mushroomishness of the things. Is that a word? Am I wording? Let's actually go to an under layer, so I can make a little mushroom stem like this. We're going to make it dark, and then we'll paint over it with a lighter color, help enforce the shadow feeling to it. That down into the murk. That. Yeah, we are finishing touches here. And then we'll just bounce into the next piece. Let's go up here and grab. Like that. Bad. Let's just add some more for a colony feeling. Here. Good. And then here, and then bloop. Bloop. There we go. All right, I think I'm pretty happy with this guy. So Shambling Mound, we're gonna go ahead and lock that one in. Hit the save button. We'll collapse it. And the next thing we need to build is the Spectre. Spectre. Dot. Okay, for the Spectre, we're going to where is it? The Wraith. There we go. So I'm going to grab this guy just to have him on the same page. I'm going to copy So I'm going to take the Spectre over here as a reference, just so we have the color palette that we want. Ref. And now I can go in with some black and just start building on a Spectre. So let's see. Let's go to Wizards of the Coast and see what Wizards has done with the Spectre already for us to frame off of. So D&D Beyond, Spectre. Fun. So let's take that and put this in as a reference as well. All right, what can we learn? Same foggy fade, but instead of being dark, it's light, right? So I want to use this green fogginess because that's just the general atmosphere of the manifest zone that the adventure takes place inside of. I think I can pretty much just like invert this. Hold on. I mean, not literally, but I'm going to take this as an idea, and let's see how that worked? Something like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking. That looks really good. That's neat. It's actually really cool. Okay, cool. Let's keep that in mind. Obviously, we have solutions that we can create here. So, how do I want to do this? I guess we can start off with the green background. Just to get, what is this? Purple now? Yeah, look at that. See how that flipped like that? God, that feels so good to see the RGB slider up here in the corner. It's that's purple, that's green. So this is the purple color that created when we inverted the green mist background here. I love that. I love that. So much fun, but irrelevant. So let's stay on course with. Actually, we can go with this darker color that is created by the tail of this Wraith's. I don't know. I was gonna say waft, but I don't know why. So for now, I'm just going to block this in here, just get some color on the board, and we're going to blend it out with smoke. Use our cloud brush. This is one of our Bob Ross cloning brushes that we created to help create the same cloud sort of blending that Bob does in his landscape paintings. I spent I want to say it was 2016. I spent a year and did 120 of Bob's paintings. I did paint-alongs with them on his YouTube channel, figuring out how to do Bob Ross techniques using Photoshop paintbrush tools. So when we finish this adventure and we publish it, I'm going to do a palette cleanser by doing probably a couple landscape paintings for you guys. And I'll do a full page like this 17-inch wide, 10-inch tall page space that we create for the PDFs. I'll produce something of that size as a commission. I have a space on my Patreon where you could get a landscape commission for $200 if you are interested in doing so. Just follow my Patreon link down below and drop me a message or join as a Patreon for a month for a $200 spot. And I will create a landscape painting for you, like I've done so many times here on stream already, just to what it is that you want. I'm going to scooch this over. Let's fix my monitor. So just going to blend this in for now, just creating the space where our specter will be able to manifest. But we're almost out of time for the day. We're at 7:58. I've got like 2 minutes left. So I'm just going to go ahead and warble with this a little bit, and then we're going to cut for the day. I'm going to be back tomorrow morning. We're going to continue with this project. Tonight, I'm going to be back in about 10 and a half hours. I'll be back on. We're going to work on the Eberron Spelljammer Mecha Kaiju Bastion campaign that I'm going to be running on my Discord server in February. Tonight we're going to build out mecha modifications for the Spelljammer fighter combat mechanics that we developed, and we're going to create a list of kaiju that or encounters, hostile encounters that we'll have to start pacing out for the team to deal with, either mega kaiju, pirate ships, stuff like that. So we'll build a small table of potential creatures that need to be battled to protect the community, the asteroid communities that the team is overseeing. So we'll build that out. We have another town in the community that we want to flesh out with its settlement points and its population growth and stuff. So we can 4x that. We'll work on that tonight, and then tomorrow morning we'll be back here working on this again. Wednesday I actually have to go downtown, so I'll be off on Wednesday, but I'll be back on Thursday to continue with the, if we haven't finished it, the Spectre illustration. And then on Thursday night we'll be back on, probably finishing up the communities and then starting working on the pirate fleets for the mecha campaign that we're doing. And then Thursday night, that was Thursday night, we'll work on the Spelljammer stuff some more. Friday we'll be back doing more artwork like this in the morning, and then on Saturday in the morning we'll be working on the martial powers system for color mana with Magic the Gathering. We'll be building out we'll be looking at the Ranger again and the Beastmaster specifically, merging the Drake Warden into the Beastmaster. So one of the beasts that you could select as a Beastmaster can be a dragon, as opposed to just a creature of the air, earth, or water. We can start bending what is an air beast. Let's make it a dragon. So by level 7, your character can have a dragon instead of just a beast companion. Or that beast companion could always be like a lesser drake, but as you gain in levels, you can increase the size of your companion. So we'll be looking at those mechanics on Saturday morning, along with just martial powers in general, and reviewing the modified class features for the mana system to work with the Ranger. But I'm really happy with it so far. It's been playtesting incredibly well. So I'm going to go ahead and let's just go ahead and block that in there. I think I'm going to. I don't have time to do anything more. I really got to kick out of here. It's like almost 8. So that's it for this morning, guys. I appreciate y'all. If you think this stuff is cool, again, I'm here a lot. So like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. Check out my books down here. There's a whole bunch of them that have a bunch of free art that are inside them. They all have extensive previews, so check them out. And Discord, Patreon if you want to get a commission for a landscape, etc. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Thanks a lot for being here. Actually, I'll be tonight if you stick around, but definitely tomorrow morning. Cheers.